What an amazing day to be a broadcaster, because Trump has set off fury. It's just 46 pages long, but it has both Republicans and Democrats losing their ever-loving minds. Some are calling it heartless. Others, almost speechless. And yet others just plain scared. So what did Trump just drop on Washington that's causing this bipartisan panic? Well, stick around, because this document could change everything you thought you knew about exactly what Trump is doing. And that's the video I'll bring you here in just 1 minute. And if that wasn't enough, it's going to take 2 videos to get through today's content. One will be here on Lisa's channel, the one you're about to watch. The other will be on my channel, Justice Knight's channel. She'll put a link above. Please click on it, subscribe, because there's been an entirely new attack on President Trump. Not from the media, not from the Democrats, but from within one of the most sacred institutions in our nation. Lisa touched on it yesterday, but it's expanded to an area I never thought or hoped it would expand to. A high-ranking official just stepped up to the microphone, unloading a blistering tirade aimed squarely at President Trump. All put under the veil of judicial independence, but she wasn't the only one. Multiple fronts, multiple breaking news, and we're going to stay in the courtrooms across the country on the second broadcast, because what they unloaded on Trump yesterday, man, you'd think your blood's boiling by the end of this video. Just wait till you hear what I have to cover.
Because I'm using my free speech rights in order to advise people of their constitutionally guaranteed protections, and he may want to do it again today. And to that I say, come for me.
Well, be careful what you wish for. Lisa covered this yesterday in great detail. This statement from Tom Homan.
Wait to see what's coming.
Any updates on the
I meant what I said. You can not support what we're doing. And you can support sanctuary cities if that's what you want to do. But if you cross that line of impediment or knowingly harboring and concealing illegal alien, that is a felony.
Big words, right? Wait until you see what's coming. Lisa again covering it just the other day. Of everyone who has ever worked in the White House, I 100% believe this man the most on everything he says. That smirk on his face should scare the blank out of the guilty. But there has to be actions behind the words, and there was. There will be consequences. Pam Bondi coming out. DOJ files a suit warning sanctuary states to stop skirting the law, but there's more. It follows Thursday's release of police body cam footage showing illegal alien Kilmar Abrego Garcia getting pulled over by Tennessee Highway Patrol while driving a convicted human smuggler's vehicle. Fact. As you have probably seen, the administration has been clear as a mill pond with anyone who isn't in the U.S. illegally, even recently releasing a fun and informative music video to help them get out. But this isn't fun. This isn't entertaining. This is reality. The reality shown here.
Everything good?
You got a bunch of people in here, don't you?
It's 1%. Yes. Go back to work.
Gotcha. Where are you working at?
Where?
Where?
San Luis, Missouri.
Missouri?
Yes, sir. Next week, I'm going maybe tonight with the other project.
I thought you was going to Missouri.
The next project, I told you, the next project next week is everybody going to nice use the truck.
I've never seen one with that many seats in it.
What do you say? It's my boss.
I said I've never seen one with that many seats in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's why I was asking if you'd put an extra one in.
No, it's the same. Like this.
One in?
Huh?
Did y'all put another one in?
You know what you got, right?
Huh?
You know what you got here, right? He's hauling these people for money is what he's doing. But sometimes they commingle dope.
No, but
He,
did you see how squatted the back?
there's 8 people in there.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that. They put an extra row of seats in there.
Yeah. So he's getting paid to all these people, probably to Maryland, I would say, if I had my.
Ouch, that hurts the left narrative, doesn't it? I clipped that, of course, but it leads to the bigger story of what Pam Bondi, of what Holman threatened, but it is not an idle threat, not in any way, shape, or form. Before we get to the document Trump just released, we're going to get there quick, but this is critical to round off what Lisa provided for you the other day. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons has a message for sanctuary cities. The more they're going to double down or triple down, we're going to ramp it up more. We're going to come right over the top of them. We're going to make sure we're doing all we can to bring our law enforcement resources to the jurisdictions, and we're going to take care of those public safety threats. They're not messing around. Because of clips like that, when the left media is telling you everything's great with Garcia and Democrats are flying out to put their arms around him, let's remember the reality of who all these people are claimed to be. So take it a step further. What else are they doing? We're going after Illinois for restricting E-Verify. To eliminate illegal immigration, encourage self-deportations, and protect U.S. workers, we must shut off unlawful job access. So they found a legal, not a loophole either. That's the law. And if you're not going to use it like other states do, well, that's kind of an unfair advantage, isn't it? So they're going to exploit every way possible that you are trying to skirt the system. Tom Homan's words were not empty. Unlike AOC's, who says, come and get me. But that was only one clip the mainstream media showed you, because they didn't show you what actually happened within this town hall meeting, which was absolute disarray.
To defend
Aren't the Democrats so cohesive? Calling AOC a liar and going on an unhinged rant that no one could stop. But the country turned on Trump, right? The voters have buyer's remorse. We told you, except for the CNN who stated that, also states this.
Who would be doing a better job as president? Guess who comes out on top? Within the margin of error, but comes out on top. This looks a lot like the election result, right? Trump 45%, 2 points ahead of Harris at 43%. 12% say they'd be doing about the same. But this is the key nugget here. It's not just about regretting that vote. It's literally saying who would be doing the better job right now. And Trump continues to score a higher percentage of the vote.
Shocking, if you believe in polls, which I don't believe in polls. Trump not only went scorched earth in his new document, oh no, he tripled down on Iran, and ultimately China, which I've told you from the very beginning has always been the target of all this. All purchases of Iranian oil or petrochemical products must stop now. Any country or person who buys any amount of oil or petrochemicals from Iran will be subject to immediately secondary sanctions. This will not be allowed to do business. They will not be allowed to do business with the United States of America in any way, shape, or form. Well, who buys most of the oil from Iran? Go ahead. Put it in the comments. China. By the vast percentage. This is going to be a massive hit to Chinese refineries. By far, China is the largest recipient of Iranian oil exports by a mass percentage. So it's always been around public enemy number one, and Trump continues down that road. He's warned us before. I don't know why people think any of this is shocking. He's the one who has stated time and time again that he had given them no money. The Biden regime gave them all the money they needed to reinforce all these attacks against our U.S. military, and it should be shut down and scuttled immediately, and that's exactly what Trump is doing. But he's shutting down and scuttling a lot now, isn't he? Okay, folks, let's take a momentary pause in the action here, because I need to ask you a favor. Lisa wants her subscriber numbers to increase. And many of you may believe you're subscribed, but double check for us. Make sure you are. Make sure your bell is checked all. Also, if you're new here, subscribe. Don't forget, trust me, this is the most black and white presentation of news you'll ever receive. We do it here And we do it at Restricted Republic, our own platform we created for you. It's audience-funded news. No commercials, no interruptions, no sponsors, no advertisers, beholden to no one but our audience. If you think you're getting black and white news and you're not at Restricted Republic, you're not. Because we do featured content daily that can only be found there. The stories that, well, simply we're not comfortable putting on public platforms, we put there so that you can see them every day and get the intelligence and information you need to make informed decisions and help guide this country towards the success and ultimately achieving the mandate for change we gave to President Trump. RestrictedRepublic.com. Get there today. But now let's get back to this broadcast. See this title? Trump sends a scorched earth budget plan. GOP lawmakers hate it already. Why? We'll go into some text. A proposal released Friday pressures Republican lawmakers to cleave more than 20% from federal coffers Trump has already been freezing without their approval since Inauguration Day. Congress isn't accustomed to cutting anywhere. You mean Trump is proposing a reduced budget for the first time since when? 2016, 2017, I believe? That's what he's doing. And they're going insane over it. Key House Republicans were quick to pan the White House's plan. Senate Appropriations Chair Susan Collins, shocking, publicly objected to the administration's request to keep the military funded at about $893 billion. But, so Susan, what would you like us to do? As Ukraine and Russia are ratcheting up, as China is ratcheting up, as we've fallen behind in some ways, the arms race, you just want us to recoil and shut up? Don't defend ourselves? Not in my great Republic of the United States of America. I don't know about what yours looks like. Well, we do know what yours looks like because we witnessed it for the last 4 years. I don't consider Susan Collins a Republican, can you tell? While criticizing Trump's proposed cuts to biomedical research, education support programs for low-income households, and subsidies to help the poorest Americans cover the cost of heating and cooling their homes. Noting, never mind you, that by doing what he's doing on immigration, he will allow for better jobs for American citizens. Let's just dismiss that because that's irrelevant to you, right? Noting the budget was late and lacks key details, Collins voiced serious objections to the proposed freeze in our defense funding given the security challenges we face. But he's not freezing that funding. I don't know where you pulled that from. Because I'll show you the facts to get you around these storylines. Former Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, of course, OMB accounting gimmicks may well convince administration officials and spokesmen they're doing enough to counter the growing coordinated challenges we face from China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and radical terrorists, but they won't fool Congress. That's what you came up with, huh, Mitch? You should probably keep your finger on the pulse a little bit more. Not a substitute for full-year appropriations. Look, we're supportive of this administration. What it's trying to do, House Appropriations Chair Tom Cole stated. But with all due respect to anybody, I think the members have a better understanding of what can pass and what can't than the executive branch does, because you guys have done such a bang-up job so far. Thanks for supporting we the people who voted for the mandate for change for President Trump, and thank you for not supporting him in virtually no way, shape, or form. Now, we know what you're doing, and we're watching it, and it's unacceptable. So what is this all about? What is everybody going crazy about? The president's full year 2026 discretionary budget request. It's not a long document. It's not really hard to follow. The budget reduces non-defense discretionary spending by $163 billion, 23% reduction. Guts the weaponized deep state and provides historic increases for defense and border security. So what was Susan Collins talking about? Sorry, folks, it's all right here. The budget also provided support for air and rail safety, key infrastructure in our nation's veterans and law enforcement. This is the lowest non-defense spending level since 2017. Yes, I got the number right. Thank you. Savings come from eliminating radical DEI and CRT programs, green new scam funding, eliminating weaponization, and promoting federalism. Sound off, please, in the comments. Does this sound good to you so far? A reduction in wasteful spending, an increase ultimately in defense spending, but an overall reduction in the budget. Is there anything wrong with that scenario? In the comments, please. I want to make sure I'm on the right path for you guys. Defense spending would increase by 13% and appropriations for DHS would increase by 65%. Oh, we're talking a ton of DHS officials to secure the border, to continue and rapidly accelerate the deportation efforts. That's where I want my funding going. Ensuring that we have the resources to end the border invasion. This will be made possible through the passage of President Trump's one big, beautiful bill, which will be enacted with a simple majority in Congress and cannot be held hostage by Democrats for wasteful spending increases. And I guess now we understand why they went crazy, right? Because all their slush funds have been eliminated. Far too long, Secretary Marco Rubio comes out. Americans have had little to no return on their investment. Their tax dollars have been sent to unaccountable NGOs overseas to fund programs that don't serve our nation's interest. That's over. Thanks to the President of the United States, common sense leadership has been restored. We'll be investing in America First initiatives and stop funding wasteful and misaligned programs. Today's budget cut does exactly that. And if you heard this clip here, you'll understand exactly where this wasteful spending is occurring. And mind you, this is just a sliver of the wasteful spending. Doge meets with Jesse Waters, and here's what they unload to him.
So it was by far the least peaceful agency that we've worked with, ironically.
Of course.
Additionally, we found that they were spending money on things like private jets, and they even had a $130,000 contract with a former member of the Taliban. This is real. We don't encounter that at most agencies.
Yeah.
What was the money going to the Taliban for?
So it was a contractor. They received $130,000 for generic services. And to Elon's point, there was not actually a clear description of what the contractor services were for.
Yeah, but we don't have wasteful spending. Man, this isn't trimming the fat, what Trump just did. This is chainsaw level reform. And everyone's screaming. I don't care if they scream. Because while we're all sitting here trying to rub 2 pennies together to make 5 cents, the government just spits out our money. And as a matter of fact, in that, they asked them, do you think the government cares about taxpayer dollars? The answer was, in short, absolutely not. They can care less. They don't even know where the money's going. So Trump's budget of cutting this spending, to me, makes all the sense in the world. I want to know if it does to you. Before I kick into the entire second video, remember, get over to my channel. Love you to watch it because there is so much information. I'm going to take what Lisa did yesterday in this attack on Trump, and we're going to expand on it because there was multiple attacks on Trump. Because both parties are melting down. Trump just dropped the most aggressive spending reform plan we've seen in decades. And what's happening? The DC insiders are freaking out. Cuts to bureaucracy, slashing woke programs, and turning the table on DC's establishment. Do you support Trump? Do you support him going this far? Or did he finally go too deep? I know what your answer will be, and I can't wait to see it in the comments below. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.